Hi, meet Sika, host of the Sunny Chat Show, the morning conversations that stirs up your spirit, challenges your thinking, and speaks to the heart of everyday living.
Parenting is more of a student role than a professorial role.
Do you think that parents were paying enough attention to the emotional needs?
So, for example, you are with an abusive mother and you keep staying in his space and she keeps insulting you, you wouldn't heal. So, when you come and mommy says, no, don't just go away or go and cry. Come and let's talk about it.
We now call lying being smart. Yeah. You're on phone in a trotro, going to Kadishi. You have not gotten the bus. Oh, I'm almost there.
Expect thought-provoking discussions, heartwarming moments, inspiring guests. Together, we will explore faith, family, relationship, healing, parenting, purpose, and the real-life issues shaping our world today. Oh, and that's not all. We will step into Mystery Kitchen with Tiffany, where we discover exciting new ways to spice up our cooking and bring flavor to every home. Tune in every Saturday at 11 a.m. on Sunny TV. The Sunny Chat Show. Real conversations, real life, real impact. Make a date. Hello. We live in a world where we're constantly encouraged to focus on ourselves, build our personal brands, and what have you. But of course, when we get all that right, we neglect the other people around us who happens to be our responsibilities as well. While it's important for us to grow personally, what about our dependents? Society begins to struggle when individuals lose sight of their responsibilities. And so today, we're going to look at that on a broader spectrum. I have a guest in the house who's going to help me do justice to this topic. When I come back, I'll be introducing him. This is the Sunny Chat Show.
So where can you go to find encouragement? Be a part of a faith community, get prayer, grow in your faith, watch inspiring videos, and watch Christian TV anytime and anywhere for free. The Sunny TV GH app on iOS and Android, a great place to belong, grow, connect, go. Free Christian radio and TV in the palm of your hand.
Do you have a skill? Do you want to start your own business in baking? Are you tired of 9 to 5? Do you want financial freedom? Do you want to invest in yourself? Do you want to learn a new skill? Then look no further. The Institute of Culinary Arts, Ghana, is offering a 2-month intensive hands-on pastry training for beginners, housewives, young adults, students, busy individuals, kitchen assistants, hobby seekers, teenagers, home bakers, parents, families, and businesses. From the 15th of August to the 31st of October 2026 at Kekali's Arcade, Ajaringanor East, Legon. Every Saturdays 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The year ahead will reward those who takes action. Registration fee is 200 Ghana cedis. All tools, equipment, and ingredients will be provided. Limited space available. Terms and conditions apply for registration. Call 024959888. Institute of Culinary Arts, Ghana, empowering individuals and business to achieve their success stories.
Be still my soul, be still and know my God.
Hello, Akwesi. What new? What to sing?
Pops, I don't understand the tree language.
This is Uncle Wafa. We need some
What
money for.
train? How is all this now made the money and then an hour train? I could see, sir.
It is finished, oh.
What about the money I sent you to renovate the family house? But you know, snow move way too much. And I want to Ghana. And say she got me there, send you. What kind of thing is this?
Create a group on Chango with your family and friends. Keep track of all the funds you send to them and know exactly what the funds are used for. Chango is approved by Bank of Ghana. Call +233 270 066 614 or visit changoapp.com for more information.
Hey, now, Akwesi, anyone else who Chibium no?
Pops, modern problems require modern solutions.
Chango, the smarter way to send money.
Welcome back. Once again, this is the Sunny Chat Show, and my name is Sika, spelled C-I-K-A. And of course, I had told you from the beginning that I have a very special guest in the house, and he is in the person of Papa Akest. That's how we all fondly call him. But who is Papa Akest? I may not be able to do justice to that introduction, so I would let him introduce himself. Papa, you're welcome to Sunny 88.7 and Sunny TV. When we all say Papa Akest, who is behind the name Papa Akest?
Thank you very much. An honor to be here. I like to describe myself as a connector, an optimistizer, new word by the way, optimizer, and a leadership advocate. So I believe in connecting people, entities, ideas, and so forth and so on. I build enabling environments for that. I believe in sowing hope. And so that's the optimistization. And then I'm also a capacity building person. So I believe in optimizing people. And I believe everything rises and falls on leadership. So I advocate heavily for leadership. So I've built communities like Mehima, which is for women, Ohiniba, Tech Connect, and I'm also a Toastmaster. I'm a proud Rotarian, and I sit on a number of boards that do humanitarian activities. And so I'm here, excited to be here to share based on experience that I've built along the way, and hopefully not only connect ideas, but also to sow hope and to help groom somebody.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you, Papa.
Thank you.
You know, when I called and I said, Papa, we need to do an interview, and I was asking, what do you have in mind? What can we talk? Because, I mean, I can't put you in a box, so I needed you to tell me what we can talk about. And then you sent me 2 topics. The first one was, the world does not revolve around you. And I said, whoa, what did I do? Why is Papa coming at me so strongly like this? The world does not revolve around me. And then I said, okay, take a breather. Check if it was talking to you in person or it was a topic to be discussed. And so then you broke it down to me and I said, okay, this is very intriguing. So when you say the world does not revolve around you, how do you mean?
It's interesting, and it's a topic that jumped to my heart because of a number of conversations I've been in.
Okay.
And some theories that I have, which I'd love to share here. So one of the biggest sensations right now in the workplace, in the environment, in the community, in the society is 2 phrases, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. And everybody has their opinion about the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas.
Yeah.
The truth is, I personally believe that Gen Zs and Gen Alphas are like a gift to the world from God. Why do I say that? I believe that at a time when we human beings have lost our way and celebrate intelligence over substance, over meaning, over connection, or, these are people that have been dropped into our laps to remind us. But whenever I say that, everybody reacts and says, no, but that's not true. They are not more emotional. They are selfish. They are this, they are that. And I say, no, it's not their fault. It's the guidance that they were given, right? And so as time goes on, I believe that they are the ones that are going to bring humanity back to where it needs to be, that reset. But in the meantime, a lot of them have been misguided in believing, or they've been led to believe, because of parents who wanted to do the opposite of what their parents did to them. They said, my parents were too strict. I don't want to be like that. My this was that. I don't want to be like that. My dad didn't have time for me. I want to have more time. So they've gone the extreme opposite.
Yeah.
So they come into this world as a baby. Yes, the baby is every parent's number 1 priority, right?
Of course.
And so the world truly does revolve around them. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to do much. So you compensate for it. So if they cry, they scream, they say, yeah, you jump up. But as they grow on, you need to let them know, hey, you know what? Your mommy's world, your daddy's world, but this is just a small place in the whole universe.
Okay.
And then you start to introduce them to being aware of other people and other things, and that we live in one big society, that we're only a fundamental. Yes, we're fundamental, but a fundamental part of it.
But Papa, are we doing good at doing that, introducing them to the world, as you say?
Unfortunately, we're not. And the reason is because it is difficult. But then again, anything that is worth doing is very difficult. And so a lot of times, especially when people are working more than they used to, having less time than they used to, the world is changing. It's difficult to do the back and forth. So when parents say, hey, and the person kicks back, they say, I just let them have their way. And so over time, they're so used to having their way. And then, but unfortunately, you can't get away with it for the rest of your life. So either university or that first chance of going to work, and then they get that slap in the face when they are not as brilliant as they were told they are. They don't get to have their way they thought they would. And instead of thinking that, okay, maybe I got the wrong impression, they start thinking, no, this place hates me. And so then the whole evolution begins, and it turns into something else.
So this shift really happens from where? The home, or in their mind, or how we raise them? Where do they...
You mean the shift to being more self-centered?
Yes.
Well, it's always been there, because like I said, when you're born, all you know is to cry, and you're responding. So even, and I'm also a communication coach, so that's something I like to talk. Even in communicating, there's an evolution that happens. There's a point where you think just my ability to express myself is communicating. So I have a lot of people tell me, oh, Papa, as long as I've known you, you've always been a good communicator. No, that's not true. I knew how to talk. I had confidence. And a lot of people equate confidence to communication. It's not. Confidence is your ability to get to a point where your perception of your ego is valid enough that you get comfortable expressing yourself, okay? Which is a good thing. But when it becomes more about expressing yourself over understanding who you're expressing the message to, where you don't analyze your audience before you speak, that is when it's a problem. And so a lot of people have not evolved into understanding that the society we live in, there are different multiple people that we need to look out for. They've not gotten to the point where their brain tells them, okay, this is great for me, but what about everybody else? Which is why I love the values of Rotary, which, like I said, I'm a part of. There's a 4-way test we're supposed to use every time we engage, think, act in the world. The first one is it the truth?
Okay.
And it has to be a universal truth. The second one is it fair to all concerned? The third one is, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And the fourth one is, will it be beneficial to all concerned? When you think like that, you understand that everything you do, you need to look at multiple angles. But when you've not been taught that, then you just think in one short term, is this beneficial to me?
Yes.
Is it fair to me?
Yeah.
Is it my truth? Right? And will it be beneficial to me? So when you do that,
looking at themselves.
Exactly. And sometimes we need to find a balance, because what is good for you may not necessarily be good for everybody else. So when you put what is good for you above everybody else, then there's trouble.
Okay. So what are we doing wrong, and how can we, reorient these ones? Because like you mentioned, usually it is when they get to university, then the reality sets in. Because even in the boarding house, sometimes parents leave them in the hands of housemasters, house mistresses, who still give them that pampering and all. I know back in my daughter's school, she would say that some of her friends will place orders for pizza all the way from Accra, and it will come in, and the security will bring it to their hostels. And some people have been given that preferential treatment. So the father can call the security guard, someone is at the gate, can you help deliver this to room A, B, C, and D? And so they're still having that privilege over there. How do we prepare them properly before they even get to the university, so that it's not like a whole shock for them when they get there?
You know what you said about what are we doing wrong? I don't think it's so much what are we doing wrong, as in what we should continue to do right.
Okay.
And the start is right here.
Yeah.
There's this saying that a lot of people say, oh, Ghana, we talk too much, we need action. But the truth is, I don't think we talk enough. The problem is talking, but not dialoguing. And that's also an egotistic thing.
Okay.
Talking is, I've come on a program, I want to just share what is in my head, and which is my opinion. And that can be egotistic. Being sociocentric means asking, how do I give value? Reading the room, understanding the questions, so you can give the right feedback. So, what can we do better? First and foremost, I know you have a lot of conversations around family.
Yeah.
And I know you've talked to people about things even like temperament and so forth and so on. I'm sure we've also talked about love language and all that. And those things exist, and it's fine. But at the end of the day, what is the end result? And what does it really mean? Let's look at love. Some parents, or most parents, will tell you they love their children. But what does it really mean? A short-ended view of it, which sometimes people don't even realize, is I want my child to love me back. So they do it for that. Is that really love? Or is that a seeking of attention? See what I mean? There are others who say, you know what, I don't want to have my child to have any problem with me, so I keep them happy. But is that really love? Maybe, maybe not, right? But if we have the conversations that allow parents to think holistically, so I don't want my child to suffer in the future.
Yeah.
I cannot truly be there for them forever. I need them to be able to survive and thrive. In that case, they change the narrative. How do I prepare them for the world? In certain parts of the world, parents start teaching children how to save very early.
Yeah.
And so by the time they are 18, they are weaned off. Some teach them how to invest.
Yeah.
Others give them fish and never take time to teach them how to fish.
Yeah.
And then when that parent is in trouble, the child, sometimes they're even bitter and hate their parents for it. Meanwhile, the parents were just trying to do love. So there need to be a lot of these conversations around parenting, around making those choices, around making the hard choices. Sometimes you have to discipline your child, not because you don't love them, but because you understand the benefit of it going through. So that conversation has to go on. When you notice your child do something selfishly, don't just ignore it. Address it. It's difficult because after a while it becomes like a broken, but address it. Understand what is it they are thinking. Understand why. Sometimes some parents don't even want to hear children screaming. Oh, they're loud. Give them what they want.
And now it's tablets. There are a lot of tablets. You just throw the tablet around, keeps them quiet, and you can do your thing.
But for the ease of peace today, you may suffer later. Some people's children end up in trouble, in big trouble, in jail, because they didn't learn how to hear no. Right? So that inconvenience today may prepare them for tomorrow. And it's not their fault. They've grown up and you've been okay with them scream and get. So what happens is now they're screaming and they're not getting. What they actually believe is, I'm not screaming loud enough. You see what I mean? Then also there's a role that society plays. I mean, unfortunately, these days, because of some bad elements in society, we believe that we must protect our children. So we've basically created systems where we say, nobody else should correct my child. But it was never enough. In the past, that's why I said village raises a child. Everybody had to chip in. Because guess what? You, the parent, can only be around them a short point in time. When they go to school, they have, we used to have bad nuts which homoed this thing. But at least there were certain things that when you're in secondary school, you stay within, because your seniors won't allow you to get away with it. Your teachers won't allow you to get away with it. Your housemates. So you have so many checks and balances that you can only go so wayward. You still have a bit of... But now society has left it and say, well, you want to take care of your children, you take care of them alone. But how much time do you have? You go to work, mommy goes to work, and then you dump it onto, what is it called? Teachers and even daycare. Now, even as a society, we were intentional about taking care of everybody. So if teachers were not being paid well, it was our problem. If daycare people were not paid enough, it was our problem. While thinking about it, if you had somebody who was helping you at home, it is our problem. Now everybody thinks about themselves. So that teacher is also thinking about himself. Look, I'm not making much. What can I do to augment? Now, if I'm trying to survive, how much time do I have for your child that you've come to dump? You've had your child, you've come to dump it on me. You don't care how much I make, you don't care how I survive. So he's also going to do the best he can. And then the poor child
grows to become what the world has made him or her
to become.
We live in a world of a survival mentality. I mean, you and I, back in the days, there are a lot of things we weren't taught. We grew up to learn the hard way. But today, it's as if they're growing and they're not learning much.
So let me correct you that. And I say correct because it's easy to miscalculate. So when I talk about leadership, sometimes I talk about modeling. Okay? So what we would say we learned on our own, really what it was is that we were watching good models. We had better models in society. So even when our parents didn't teach us, there were so many places to look at for the right models. We grew up in a society that said a good name is better than riches. And a lot of people were particular about it. So we had models. Now we live in a society where is it a good name you eat? So riches are better no matter how you get it. And so those are the models that we're going through. And those are the models the children are also going through.
Isn't it that sad? Isn't it so sad? Now in the era of technology where we are more advanced, right? We are more advantage. Because, technology has come to make our lives easier and it must be better. However, I stand to be corrected, but I see a lot of vices also that's where a lot of these young ones are learning them. Like you rightly said, modeling is right there on social media where they're seeing, and how do we blend in the tech, its advantage, and also watch out for the disadvantage of it thereof?
Technology is a tool, and how you use it matters. The problem with society is hard work was never a wrong thing. Sometimes we misunderstand and say, you have to work smart. Yes, you have to work smart, but hard work has to happen. Hard work just shifts in the way it shows itself. So there was a time when manual labor, using your hands, was hard work. Then came hard work through using tools, industrialization. Then came hard work using even technology, but programming, writing the right tools, doing the right admin work. Now we have artificial intelligence, but there should still be hard work in prompting, asking the right questions and asking the right directions, and we're not doing that. So when you have technology, and now that technology allows me to email you, which is a form of communication, I should not forget that communication was just not me sharing information. There was body language, there was the smile, there was the emotional connection, there was connection. And so you do the hard work by augmenting that email now to see how do I, which is why people brought emoticons and things like that. That's people thinking, but we consistently need to be thinking. And so that's why I said, I feel like Gen Zs are a dump on, hey, you guys have really lost it and now we've come in. And the reason I say that, and this is something I realized I was surprised at, not through any data or research, but just observation. In the past, when somebody cannot survive, for example, they didn't know they have a place to sleep, they would do anything, no matter how questionable, because fundamentally they needed to survive. Yeah. Gen Zs are shaped differently. So I've met Gen Zs who do not know where I'm sleeping tomorrow, do not know where their meal is coming from, maybe have a job that's paying them maybe 1,000, 2,000 Cs, and they quit the job, either because I see no meaning in the job or I don't like the way my boss talks to me. And the next day, the person is literally begging or doing something questionable to make a dime to eat. And you ask, so why did you quit your job?
That's the question.
And so for them, there's certain things that we've taken for granted that now fundamentally, they need to know why I need to do this. It's not enough to say, do it. And so in the past, where we were told, listen to your elders, don't question back, that doesn't work for them.
Yeah.
You have to tell them why.
Papa, my 6-year-old would question me why I say don't do this. And if I don't explain, he will walk with me to the kitchen. He will ask 2 times, and then he realizes that I am losing it, and then he'll go. The 3rd time, then he'll come with a lower tone. Mommy, why can't I do this? And I realize that this why is a big issue for them.
It's very important.
So you need to sit them down and narrate and explain till they understand it. But you see, is ego a bad thing, actually, to start with? Because I see this as their own ego playing out, isn't it?
You could say it's their ego, and really it comes to their ego when they don't. But in your 6-year-old kid, I would say not ego, and I'll explain. It is ego in the sense that sometimes when they think they are the most important thing in the room, and they also don't learn, there's in the African palace saying, a child to eat with kings must learn to wash their hands, if they don't understand to wash their hands. Now, there's something you said that made me say he's different. He said the 3rd time he lowers his voice. Yes. That tells you he's aware that I have to change the mode of communication to get things done. The person that has ego will just keep screaming louder and louder because they feel that they need to be more heard. But he's understanding there's a narration. I believe why the fundamental cannot stop and have to understand the why is because it's in their DNA. And I believe that they are that way because the world that is coming, that is the only way they can survive. Let me explain. In the past, it was enough to have a formula, and you apply the formula, okay? So there were theories that we stick to them, and once we stick to them, it works. Now the world is changing. Yeah. And what fundamental we're finding is that we find that we're making a lot of mistakes because we're using old paradigms that don't work in the modern world, okay? And I'll give you a very good example. There was this quick story about 2 guys who had gotten some part of a barrack. And they just today, every morning, every evening, they go home. A commander came, he was fresh, he asked them what they were doing. They said, well, that's the way it's always been. It's been for years. So this commander, being somebody who is also, asks the why, went into the record, chase, then found out there was a command, his predecessor, many points ahead, There was a time that he felt those slabs had to be, and he cemented them. But whenever they went home in the night, the wood animals would come and run over the slabs and destroy it. So he put out 2 guards to protect it through the night so the cement would dry. Just the next morning, he was transferred. The next person never asked why. And so for a long time, they've been wasting money on man hours, guarding something that didn't need to be guarded, and nobody asked why. The world that is coming, if we don't ask why, we're going to be in trouble. So I believe that the Gen Zs are wired in to ensure that they don't just do things because, but they understand why they're doing it. And that is fundamental to human behavior. And that's why I love them. It's just that they've not been trained to wash their hands to
properly
eat
so they can
with
eat
the
with the
kings.
kings. I'm loving where you're taking the conversation. And I'm hoping parents are listening and they're learning that these children we have, annoying as we may think they are a blessing to us. They help. So there was a time I was having a conversation with my daughter. She said something and I did not agree. I was trying to let her know my points, but she made me understand that, but you people know you need us. And I admitted, I said, yes, we need you. I need you so much because I can't do A, B, C, D on my PC. You help me. So yes, we do need them. How can we help them to know that the world does not revolve around them?
So how do you celebrate them?
Oh, well, I appreciate them. So for my kids, now this is what they do. Every time they want something, they want me to buy something for them. I let them do chores. And then I reward them with some few notes. So I let them put them in their piggy bank. On Sunday, what do you want to buy? Maybe after church, they want a treat. You have your own money. You give yourself a treat.
It's good, but it's transactional.
Yes.
Okay? It's transactional. So now they're only going to do things when they see a benefit for it. They're going to start manipulating. They're going to start doing things to make sure that they get something.
But Papa, they
back.
have to learn how to earn their money.
They have to. No, it's good. I'm just saying it's good. But if it stops there, right? What else do we do? You've gone to school. They've done well. Good job. They celebrated. So they understand that I have to do well in school so I can shine. Do we ever observe them when they do something of their own that serves society and see, good job. I see you did X, Y, Z. That is so good. Do we ever encourage them to do something beyond their comfort zone? And praise them for when they do it? Do we ever show them models of society that are, for example, there are these guys that have been popular on social media because they were doing cleaning of gutters. How many people in their homes actually come and tell the children, I wish you would be like them? No. We rather tell them about, look at this person in this school, look at that person in this school, look at this person who's got this award, look at this person's title. And so we teach them, look out for yourself. We need to let them understand that they're part of a society and their contribution to that society is just as important. Then they now start thinking, they may not be doing it for you, but you may notice they may do it for somebody else, and that is also good. You see what I mean? But if we don't intentionally have those discussions around them, they don't see the importance. And some of these children, no matter how they will fight with you, are actually looking for your approval. And so the things you approve, the things you model, the things you celebrate are the things that validate them.
They do. We will take a commercial break, Papa. This conversation is really timely. And so I'll come back after the commercial break and we will continue. In the house with me is Papa Akest.
So where can you go to find encouragement? Be a part of a faith community, get prayer, grow in your faith, watch inspiring videos, and watch Christian TV anytime and anywhere for free. The Sunny TV GH app on iOS and Android, a great place to belong. Grow, connect, go. Free Christian radio and TV in the palm of your hand.
Do you have a skill? Do you want to start your own business in baking? Are you tired of 9 to 5? Do you want financial freedom? Do you want to invest in yourself? Do you want to learn a new skill? Then look no further. The Institute of Culinary Arts, Ghana, is offering a 2-month intensive hands-on pastry training for beginners, housewives, young adults, students, busy individuals, kitchen assistants, hobby seekers, teenagers, home bakers, parents, families, and businesses. From the 15th of August to the 31st of October 2026 at Kekali's Arcade, Ajaringanor East, Legon. Every Saturdays 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The year ahead will reward those who takes action. Registration fee is 200 Ghana cedis. All tools, equipment, and ingredients will be provided. Limited space available. Terms and conditions apply for registration. Call 024959888. Institute of Culinary Arts, Ghana, empowering individuals and business to achieve their success stories.
Be still my soul, be still and know my God.
Hello, Akwesi. What new? What to say?
Pops, I don't understand the tree language.
This is Uncle Wafa. We need some
What's
money
a
for.
train? $1,000 now, made the money and then an hour train. I could see, sir.
It is finished, oh.
What about the money I sent you to renovate the family house? But you know, snow more air way too much. And I would see Ghana. And say, Sika made I send you. What kind of thing is this?
Create a group on Chango with your family and friends. Keep track of all the funds you send to them and know exactly what the funds are used for. Chango is approved by Bank of Ghana. Call +233 270 066 614 or visit changoapp.com for more information.
Hey, now, Akwesi, anyone else who wants to chibium no?
Pops, modern problems require modern solutions.
Chango, the smarter way to send money.
Welcome back from the commercial break. This is the Sunny Chat Show on Sunny 88.7 and Sunny TV. We're talking today about the world does not revolve around you. And yes, if you listen from the beginning, you would know that we're talking about our Gen Zs today and how we've been modeling them to become self-centered, egocentric, young people. Papa Akas is doing justice to the topic, and so yes, he's here, he's my guest. Papa, before we went on the commercial break, you made a very important point about how we can let our children see that they live in a bigger world. It's not just around them. And so instead of we pointing them to see, be like this person because they won A award, be like that person, we should teach them to be communal. I mean, think about their neighborhood, think about other people more than themselves. Ego says, I already know everything, and that's how the children will tell you. Once you sit them down, you're teaching them your old school stuff, they'll tell you, you don't know anything, I know everything. How do we correct that so that they can become more self-aware that they live in a bigger world than themselves?
Well, modeling is one thing. I mean, nobody is going to be influenced or pay attention to you if you're not credible. If you're saying one thing and doing another one, already you're out. Then beyond that, when you model, you should also share the experiences. A lot of parents, in their strength as parents or trying to protect the children, don't even talk about the consequences and the benefits sometimes. Sometimes they leave it to their friends and their siblings, and so the children are young. But it's important for the children to hear the stories to understand, because I did this, it saved me from that. Or because I did this, later it came back. Okay? So that's the second one. Then the third one is you need to also understand that we live in a world, in a microwave society.
Yeah.
So instant gratification, and that's maybe one of the negatives of social media.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that 10-year story that you're telling them, they can't relate because they're not ready to wait for 10 years for the reward. But you also need to explain the butterfly concept to them, that when you open the cocoon
Before
for that
time.
moth before time, the wings are too weak and they will break. They need to understand these things. If you don't take time to explain it to them, then they only see things a certain way. Especially when, and you also need to ask yourself, and this is where the tablets come in, who truly are their parents? You may have given birth to them, but are you really their parents? And they are going to listen to their parents. So if social media is their parenting, and social media is where they spend 70, 80% of the time, what makes you think they're going to trust what you say over what they hear on social media?
Papa, hammer that in again. Hammer that in.
If their laws, their world, their understanding, their lessons are coming from social media or TV or movies, what makes you think that they're going to listen to what it is that you say?
Yeah.
I keep saying that, I mean, I had good models and lessons from my dad, but I'm a product of my mom's teaching.
Okay.
But even within my mom's teaching, I realized that there was a lot of times she used to put us in front of a TV, not social media and things that we're exposed to now, but things like good movies, movies of Martin Luther King, Oliver Cromwell, and so forth and so on. So those figures became my role models, even some being fictional, some not. And so that also shaped me, okay, whether good or bad, okay. And so what are you exposing them to?
What cartoons are they watching? Do they make
Precisely,
friends? Are
precisely.
they just entertaining
Are
themselves?
they violent? You know, and so forth and so on. So those are the models they are learning. So when you come back now and you're saying something contradictory to them, it's going to be a long
The
debate.
word against what they have heard.
Exactly.
on social
What their
media.
parents have taught them. Like I said,
Yeah.
the ones they're spending time with,
Yes.
who they grew with, are the parents.
Yes.
Sometimes too, it's the help. So if the help is the one that is spending time with them,
Whatever they're teaching them is what they are absorbing.
don't finish and come and complain and say, I don't like the vocabulary you're using. Are they exposed to most of the time? That's another thing you need to think about, right? And of course, they'll try to have shortcuts, but do you allow them or don't you? Are you intentional about teaching them or don't you? Or do you just throw the responses at them? But there's something else. Let me veer off this for a bit to shine some. Sometimes when we also talk about egotistic, we always expect a negative approach to it. So somebody's selfish, somebody's crossing somebody on the road, somebody saying me, somebody. But sometimes being egotistic can also be masked as a good thing, but actually can be a very bad thing. And I'll give you an example. And we've all been victims of that.
Okay.
A hero personality. Okay? Some people have watched and seen heroes in movies and have modeled their lives around them. The problem or the negative part of hero-centricism is when the person thinks, I'm the only person that can save the world. And so they take the entire world on their own. You find leaders who literally want to be in the middle of everything. And it's not because they are bad people or they don't even want the attention necessarily, but they just believe that they are the ones who can do it best. They believe that they're the ones that have to be funded. So consistent over-sacrifice. Sometimes you don't have the capacity to do so and society suffers for it. Secondly, you also build members of society who are dependent and entitled, which is also not good. So we also need to remind ourselves that you're not that special. The world doesn't revolve around you. We don't move only when you say so. And you're the only one who's capable of saving everybody. You need to be aware that we live in a society. Everybody can contribute. There are different views. And you need to step back sometime and allow everybody to contribute the best way they can. That's also a form of egotism that we need to be aware of. So you will find mothers, for example, and I love that I run a women's community because a lot of these things come. So I remember one time in Mehima, we decided to go for a retreat, and some of us joined. And even on that retreat where they said they were getting away to rest, like consistently their phone, let me check on the phone. And I said, they said, oh, you don't understand. I said, no, it's insulting to your husband. Your husband said, it's okay for you to go. He said, I'll take care of the kids. Are you saying he's not capable? Are you saying, oh yeah, but the way, I said, but the way, what is wrong with that? What made you that you had to learn one day? There was a time when you didn't know. You carried the baby for 9 months, but you didn't know. You had to learn. He can also learn. You see what I mean? A lot of times people tell you, oh, he doesn't chip in. But the problem is when you go back, when he's even trying, every mistake he makes, you judges him. Forgetting that you also made mistakes. So we need to be conscious even of our ego stepping in and saying, you're the only one who knows how. Or I know best.
Papa, you're really shaking some tables, and I feel one of the legs of the table is sitting right here with you. I say so because anytime I'm not home and I know they're closed, I know there's lunch at home, but I will call, have they eaten? I mean, which father would sit and not feed his children anyway? I'm always checking, are they okay? Are they back from school? Have they taken their bath? Have they, like, you are making him almost redundant, like, can't he do anything for himself? But it's very true. So the ego thing is not just men. It's not just a man problem. Women have our own place in there. And so mothers, I feel like this is a pinch for me. I don't know if you're feeling the pinch too. Because yes, sometimes we jump in too quickly and we don't allow the butterfly to fully form itself. We're trying to, break it open. Papa, we take criticisms very personal. This thing you said, I know some people will listen and instead of taking the lessons in
They will fight me and
they
rip me
will jump
apart.
How do we all come to the table and know that we all have a role to play so that these children don't grow up thinking that the world is, if I don't get my way, then there's no other way. I mean, mothers, fathers, society at large. Now we don't even allow society to help in raising the children. But how do we all come to the table to know that the world does not revolve around us?
You talked about criticism. I've been fortunate. I'm part of an organization called Toastmasters. We build communicators and leaders. But I think the most beneficial thing in the Toastmasters environment is feedback. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. So we believe in taking feedback for everything we do, and we grow through that feedback. Now, here's the interesting thing. When parents learn to give each other feedback without attacking each other, judging each other, an amazing thing happens. Not only do they grow as parents, but the children are watching. The children are always watching.
Yeah.
A boy will treat women the way he sees his father treat his mother. Vice versa with the girls as well.
True.
When a lady feels that the mother is always manipulating the dad, she will grow up thinking that the way to get men to do things is to manipulate them. So they are always watching. When parents treat themselves well, children learn how to treat themselves well. They learn how to be kind, they learn how to be selfless, and so forth and so on. So we need to be very careful. That's the most difficult part. The difficult part is not remembering to tell them. The difficult part is remembering to live it.
Okay.
To choose to say, you know what, today I have children of my own, I have to be careful, right? I have to be extra careful. One of the things that now I'm hearing a lot of parents say they don't do anymore, which I'm very happy about, but I know when I was growing up, they used to do is a father or mother could easily tell you, go tell them, say, Miniho, or tell them I'm not around. But that same parent is saying, don't lie. And we were getting mixed signals, right? And then making it look like, oh, it's okay when I'm the father and I lie, but it doesn't work that way.
They pick it. I remember one thing. Let me share. I have a lot of stories around what you're saying. There was this woman who wanted a loan from me. I promised I was going to get her the money. But the time came and I didn't have it. So she was going to come, and I wanted to take a nap. So I called my daughter. She's much older, and I told her that I'm taking a nap. If the woman comes, you should tell her I'm not back from work. Then she said she was also busy in her room, so she would tell the boys that when the woman comes, they should tell her Mommy is not back. And I said, no. You are older. You
because you know the boys will say, Mommy says she's not back.
Otherwise, too, the other way around, what I thought when I said no was that I'm teaching them to lie.
Exactly.
They're covering for me, so they'll come back and tell me, Mommy, but you said we shouldn't lie, but you were inside and you were lying. Why did I say that? My second boy, I have two boys. One is 7, he's 9 now, and his brother is 6. The younger one said, I don't want sugar in my food anymore. So I was mixing the amashke, and I mistakenly put sugar in the one who didn't want sugar. Before then, I had already mixed this one's own with sugar and milk and everything. And then I remembered, I said, hey, he is the strong-willed one. He will say he will not eat. And I don't have time to make another breakfast. So I quickly covered the food with sugar and another mashke. His brother saw me. So when the little one saw, he looked into the food. He said, Mommy, did you put sugar in my food? I said, no. And then he said, the older one who saw me gasped, and I said, okay, I think I need to come clean. I said, I did. I actually made a mistake. I put some sugar in it, and I mixed it. But it's only today. Nothing really would happen. Mommy, but you know I said I don't want sugar. I said, yes, forgive me. So when they were done and they were going to school, I was in the kitchen, and he came. Mommy, you did the right thing. He tapped me on the back and said, Mommy, you did the right thing. I'm proud of you. That was my 9-year-old.
Wow.
Then he was
you see?
8. You know, so it just dawned on me that it wasn't really what we say. It is the doing that they are learning from. So everything you're saying right now, I can really relate and say that, yes, we need, the modeling is very important. But unfortunately, there's not much time for parents to stay
And that
at
is
home.
one situation. Can you imagine those who've seen people do this 100 times over?
Many other things I would do, and they would watch, and then maybe they would not say anything, but they are forming their ideologies. So parenting, like you mentioned, had to be an intentional thing, what you're doing. If they do same, would you be proud of them? So where do we go from here?
And society as well. So here's the thing. There's a learning pyramid. And you know, the beauty of the science of the world is how God has made it. It's so complete. It's mind-blowing, but it's hidden in many different fabrics, okay? So I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a house help, or you have a cousin, or you have a niece who's staying with you, right? And subconsciously, you say, I don't have time. I don't have time to teach her. I don't have time to spend time with her, right? Maybe because she's not my daughter, maybe because she's not my priority. But here's the thing. At some point, you are busy, or you may be frail, and she's now modeling to your kids. And what she knows is what she teaches them. And now you're complaining that she's teaching the wrong things to the kids, forgetting that you did not make time to make her. What am I saying? Let me expand that to society. when we don't care about society, whether we like it or not, that society we create is what we'll model for our kids. Okay? So when we are intentional, and like I said in the learning pyramid, the best way to retain anything is to teach. So if you want to learn something, which is why I love to train, you teach it and it's reinforced in your mind, right? So when we make an effort to model the right things into society, that same society shapes our children, shapes our nephews and nieces, shapes everybody around us. And so how do we move forward? By being intentional about impacting what we know is right across society. So it comes back from society. Yesterday, we all know what happened in Ghana. Really tragic. People died, but a lot of it, yes, the rains will always come, and we thank God for that. But how we respond to the rains and what happens is based on our behavior.
True.
And if we don't model the right behaviors across society, then the young ones will perpetuate the wrong things and suffer more for it.
Because they've seen us do it over and over.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, it feels as if the wrong has become the right now.
Exactly.
You said something at the beginning. Good name, where would it take you?
Yes.
Good name now, BD. You see your people cleaning the gutters, and this is something, a good example. Then you're asking yourself, where would that take you?
Exactly.
Cut corners and make the millions, buy the car, and show everybody.
Society will celebrate you for
exactly.
it. Yeah.
So who is to be blamed for all this rot that is happening? And we are putting it all on Gen Z, Gen Alpha. Who is to be blamed here?
We all have a role to play, and we all have to be blamed, and we all have to do better. Okay? There's something very interesting that happened this weekend. I was in Kumasi, and a friend of mine and I went out, and when we were coming back, I was going to drop her off, myself in an Uber. And then she said, after you drop me off, please be careful when you're coming back. And I said, why? He said, well, the area guys can be rough and whatever. And I said, so you honestly want to tell me you make a difference in the car because now you're not worried, but you're worried when we're coming back? And she said, oh, the boys, they know my dad, so they don't touch me. I said, they know your dad, why they're afraid of you? I said, no, my dad takes care of all of them. He's a pharmacist. He sorts. My mother too also sometimes cooks for them. So whenever they see us, they don't touch us. And in my head, I said, even in a society, even in the criminal underworld, they know who they touch. They know who they consider family. And they know who they take their stuff to. What if we live in a society where we all consider ourselves family?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that drive crime away? Wouldn't that make all these things disappear?
It's a peaceful world to live in.
So, understanding fundamentally that, yes, ego is good in the sense that it creates self-awareness to the point where you're confident in experiencing yourself. But thinking less of yourself, not thinking of yourself as unimportant, but thinking less of yourself and more of the society which you're a part of is more important. And so we thrive because society thrives, and we don't thrive out of society. That's what we mean by the world does not revolve around you. You're part of the world, you contribute your part, and you ensure that everybody benefits from it.
Do you think we stand a chance, and how soon do you think we can get there? Because if I'm making the difference, I'm trying my best to make the difference with my household, my community, but the other neighbors are not getting it. They keep, staying in the rut or destroying all the efforts that we're putting in. Do you think we really stand a chance? And if we do, how soon can we get to that place?
I cannot answer your question negatively because of who I am.
Okay.
So let me explain. When I started, you asked me who I am. I said, I'm a connector. I like to connect ideas. So I'm always looking for alternatives to dealing with certain issues and people and resources, always connecting. Now, the second thing I said is I'm an optimistizer. An optimistizer is a hope dealer, which means, and I keep telling people this, the day I stop believing in hope, that's the day I put a bullet to my head because there's no point, right? So I have to believe by my nature that it can get better. Sometimes it takes longer. So there's something that a lot of returnees who are listening to the program will tell you. I don't know if they've noticed or not. But generally, people come into the country, they say they want to survive in Ghana, they come in, some cannot hack it, and they run away. So there's an unsaid formula. When you're here for the first 3 years, everybody's just laughing at you. Like, look at one of them. They think they're going to make a difference, and they laugh, and they do not move. When you go beyond 3 years, and it's still the same message, and they start asking, what drives you? And they start paying attention. I went through it. And so the same people that used to laugh and, oh, look at this guy, now started seeking counsel. You need to go the distance, and you need to prep yourself to go the distance. So your neighbor is going to be doing the negative every day, maybe for 6 months, maybe for 1 month, maybe for a year. But at some point, you're going to sit back and see what drives Shika. And they're going to stop, and they're going to question, and they're going to start to follow.
Okay.
But you have to be consistent for that to happen. And sometimes the people that will tell you, oh, I did this because of you, will shock the very senses out of you, because you will think, I'm wasting my time and nothing is happening. One of my biggest shocks, I remember I was having a really bad day and I was driving from a lecture that I'd done. And I've been talking about leadership the whole day. And I said, sometimes I wonder, am I just being idealistic, all right? And as I was going through this motion, I got a call. Random number, I don't know the number. The person apparently formerly used to work at National Security. He introduced himself, I didn't know who he was. The next 30 minutes, he was just encouraging me.
Wow.
You think some of us don't see? We've seen what you do. We've seen how much you put into this country. We see how much you love this country. He talked for 30 minutes. I was shocked. Then he hung up. And at that moment, I was researching. People are watching. Keep doing what you're doing. So we need to have that. And which is why, if you realize these days, whenever we talk about, if you look at most of the big places, World Economic Forum, most of these, they talk about certain skill sets you need in the future. And part of it is adaptability. Another one is resilience. Because the truth is, many people have tried and many people have done the right thing. They just quit
at the 9th hour.
At the 9th hour.
Breakthrough was just coming in.
So you have to believe that things will be better. Sometimes it also requires reflection. If you look at how far we've come, you realize that we've actually come really far. Yeah. You have to believe that it will get better. You have to be consistent about it. You have to continue. Look at July, was it June 3rd or July 3rd? June 3rd, that tragedy that happened.
I remember.
If you listen to most Ghanaians, you would have realized that you would believe that this would never happen again. But somewhere along the line, we forgot. There was a time when we were shooting this mantra, be a citizen, not a spectator. It's so painful to me that we stopped saying it, because I actually felt that people wanted to change. Right now, for me, one thing I'm pushing, a couple of us are pushing, I am Ghana. Just saying that statement, I am Ghana, remembering I am Ghana. You say it enough, people will laugh, hey, this guy's for you guys. Because when I was in a public service, they used to call me Forgotten Country and laugh at me, right? But after a while, they will start now believing it. And when they start believing it, that change will start happening. So we should hold on to hope. We should consistently talk about it. We should consistently correct. We should consistently engage. We should take feedback, because if you don't take feedback, it's hard to give other people feedback. And we will see the change happen.
And it involves critical thinking as well.
I'm glad you said it. So an aspect of critical thinking is moving from egocentrism to sociocentrism. So critical thinking will tell you background, and one of the things, what most people think about when they think of critical thinking is the ability to see logic and the ability to see argumentation, which are fine and they are sound tools. But then there's rhetoric, which is choice of words and the way you communicate and so forth and so on. But there are two other things that people don't really think about in the domain. One of them is attitudes and belief systems. And when you understand that, you understand what shapes people's thinking. The other one is background. If I am not willing to understand your background, I cannot have a good conversation with you. Whether religious, whether scientific, whether background, economic, political, whatever. I need to appreciate your background. And that happens also with the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas. We need to understand that they are built differently.
Yes.
There's a science around engaging them, and you need to meet them where you can not only influence them, but you can shape them. The truth is, even with a cane, how much more? And the cane is a form of influence. But you need to learn to influence so you can influence them to see things from your point of view. And also in the process, learn, because they may have some things that even though they have very few years, they brought into the world that are useful.
True. I totally agree with you, Papa. I love this conversation we've had, and I'm hoping that we can expound it, because seriously, we don't have time, so we need to wrap up here. But leaving us, what's the two most important things you would want us to remember as we end this conversation here today?
Let me give a caveat. What I do is communication and leadership, so I may sound a bit biased. But what I've come to learn is that if you learn to communicate effectively, half of the problems are gone. If you learn to lead effectively, the other half is gone. Leadership, everything rises and falls from leadership. Leadership is your ability to shape the world around you. And if we want a better world, we need to be intentional about advocating for it, advocating for leadership, advocating for a society where we're all willing to lead. If we also want the world to be better, we need to learn to communicate. Communication is not talking, it's not confident talking, it's the ability to listen, to perceive, to empathize, to understand the world around you, and to engage in healthy dialogues that can let you find a balance that works. So if it's flooding, what can we do together, right? If I came to you and told you that you've built in an area that is in the waterway and what you've done is wrong, so break down your house, you're going to attack me because what I just did literally said, throw away, or I just diminished your life savings.
Yes.
Okay? But if I sit with you and I say, we are suffering together because of X, what can we do together? And I empathize with you, your house just got flooded. Can't we do something better? And I work with you to advocate to government. Can they move you, repatriate you? Can we find money? Can we come together as a community and help you to move? Yes, some people will say, but it's not fair. Why did he do the wrong thing? Well, he's done it. But now we need to move forward so we can all benefit. We find a nice way to communicate, dialogue, move forward, we get things done. But that comes from understanding. And so we all need to grow in understanding so we do not perish.
And that's the line I would end with. We need to grow to understand each other so we do not perish. And the topic has been the world does not revolve around you. It's not an attack at all. If you've been with us from the beginning of the interview or the discussion, I want to call it, you would have learned a thing or two how to, inculcate your children in planning, decision making, how to help them grow, see the world in a bigger picture than the narrow point of view where they sit and think that everything revolves around them. I'm hoping that we will have Papa in the house again sometime soonest so we can talk more about such topics. Papa, it's been a blessing having you in our studios this morning, and we're hoping that when we invite you again, you will make time to be here. I know you're very busy.
Absolutely.
Yes, I hope so. So it's been the Sunny Chat Show, and this is the topic we talked about this morning is the world does not revolve around you. We'll be back.
Hello, welcome to Kitchen Mysteries by Tiffany, where we make simple recipes taste delicious. My name is Tiffany Dawson. Join me as we delve into the mysteries of our kitchen. Join me as we bake our chocolatey chocolate, soft, moist, chocolate cake. For the tools that are needed for our chocolate cake, we have our mixer, we have our scoop. We are going to use this to fill our cupcake liners. We have our measuring spoons, our measuring cups. We have our sieve. We are going to use it to sieve our flour. We have our hand whisk. We have our silicone spatula. We have our measuring scale, a digital one. We have our loaf pans, our cupcake pan, and cupcake liners. Let's see our ingredients. These are the ingredients for our chocolate cake. We have our salt flour, we have our margarine, we have our baking powder, our baking soda, our vegetable oil, our sugar, our milk, our egg yolks, egg whites, our chocolate powder. This is another milk. We are going to use it for our coffee and our nutmeg. Simple ingredients for a delicious chocolate cake. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We're going to start creaming. We are doing the creaming method. This is our margarine. This is our sugar. And our vegetable oil. We are going to cream for about 10 minutes till it's light and fluffy. We have already sieved our flour. We are adding our cocoa powder, our nutmeg, our baking powder, and our baking soda. We're going to mix this. And set it aside. So this is our egg white. We want to break it a little. We'll add our milk and our essence. We'll set this one to aside. Then our quarter cup of milk, we'll add our coffee powder. We are going to warm our coffee powder for it to be a little hot. We'll pour it at the end of our batter before we bake. We are going to add our egg yolk one at a time. We want to prepare our pan. This is just vegetable oil. Hot coffee and milk. So you add it to give it a beautiful chocolate flavor. Okay. We are done. Our cupcakes are ready. Very delicious. Very soft and moist. Let me read your comments. Bake this delicious cake. Okay?
Same time next week. Stick and stay. My name is Sika, spelled Cika, and I've been here with Papa Akest. Bye-bye for now.
Hi, meet Sika, host of the Sunny Chat Show, the morning conversations that stirs up your spirit, challenges your thinking, and speaks to the heart of everyday living.
Parenting is more of a student role than a professorial role.
Do you think that parents were paying enough attention to the emotional needs?
So, for example, you are with an abusive mother and you keep staying in her space and she keeps insulting you, you wouldn't heal.
So when you come and mommy says, no, don't just go away or go and cry. Come and let's talk about it.
We now call lying being smart. Yeah. You're on phone in a trotro, going to Kanishi. You have not gotten the bus. Oh, I'm almost there.
Expect thought-provoking discussions, heartwarming moments, inspiring guests. Together, we'll explore faith, family, relationship, healing, parenting, purpose, and the real-life issues shaping our world today. Oh, and that's not all. We will step into Mystery Kitchen with Tiffany, where we discover exciting new ways to spice up our cooking and bring flavor to every home. Tune in every Saturday at 11 a.m. on Sunny TV. The Sunny Chat Show. Real conversations, real life, real impact. Make a date.